What's up everybody, Petey Magic here, and I'm repping Yan TV Play Your News. We're here in Shanghai for the press conference of Star Wars The Force Awakens. I got my little VIP pass right here, well that's Chinese, sorry. A VIP right there, got my little flyer thing. We're gonna go up interview J.J. Abrams, Kathleen Kennedy, Daisy Ridley and John Boyega, the Star Trooper. So let's go!
The real outfit, you can't do a fun run in it. It's heavy, it chips at the armpits and the inner thighs, especially if you're a sexy specimen like me.
Oh my god!
Just talk about
Are you in it throughout all day, like even off camera? Like
yeah. I mean, it's not an outfit that you can take off and then put back on. Once you're in it, you're in it. So the worst thing, if you have an itch behind your neck, you're finished. Just close your eyes and just try and breathe. Watch Daisy.
Being in a stormtrooper outfit. No. Did I? No.
I would love to see Ray
I don't know if
go
my head would
undercover
fit in
in a
that thing.
stormtrooper outfit.
That would be sick.
That would be
Maybe
so
we should
good.
talk to Ryan about it.
Yeah. That'd be good.
It's very exciting. My makeup artist is Vietnamese and she was just there and she said it was kind of a buzz, but it's funny going to countries where it hasn't been such a thing in the past, but now it is. And that's amazing. And that's kind of, I feel like that's kind of my thing, because it wasn't such a thing for me in my past. And now to be part of this new, obviously we've seen parts of the story before, history is the same thing happening again, but with a new feel and a new direction and new characters. And that's really exciting that more people are getting on board.
For me, running away from the squibs and all that kind of stuff. For me, I have an understanding of what it's going to be like. But to be honest, man, nothing can beat running in the desert with explosions and all that kind of stuff. It's borderline like, okay, is this a real situation?
Yeah. Because it's nice for me watching it because we all wanted to do as much as possible, and obviously I know myself so well. And watching the film, I was like, oh, that's nice, because I know that it's me. And I'm like, that's great.
What about John, just when you're in the helmet and stuff?
No, that was all
Is that you?
Yeah.
There was no stunts in the helmet, I'll tell you that. There was just running. So yeah, definitely me, for sure.
I know you're going to say.
Yeah.
John will say Oscar.
I wouldn't,
Really?
He's good looking though, he is, isn't it? He's a good looking guy. Attractive.
Exactly.
Force Awakens. Yes. Oh yeah, Oscar Isaacs, yeah.
Oh, what about in the whole Star Wars?
Oh, in the whole Star Wars series. There's this I don't know what colour she is. I think she's green, but she's one of Jabba the Hutt's slave girls. She's really nice, man. I caught her into focus when I was a kid.
Oh my god. What? You just said that's such a...
Wait.
Hey, green lady. Hey.
The dark side is in actual force powers and dark side. See, I play Battlefront, and I always go to the dark side. Always. It's easier, better accommodation, better pay. So I definitely go to the dark side for time. But Empire Palpatine, he pays out a lot to those stormtroopers.
That's
so,
nice.
Yeah.
At least they're getting paid for
They're
killing
all right.
people.
Yeah, hey, Luke did it.
Ruining solar systems and stuff.
Hey.
At least they can put food on the table. I think it will be funny because if the Vietnamese people haven't seen something like this before, it's obviously stylistically very individual, and watching it, it's like, I think it's like nothing else out there. So it'll be interesting to see how people react to it. But I don't think you need to see the first.
No.
There's like a couple times in the film where there's like a joke, but like 2 or 3 times.
I think these two characters bridge the gap between people who don't know nothing about Star Wars and people who do, because they don't know everything. So, Finn will ask the questions, Ray would ask the questions in confusion, and so it's nice how Larry and JJ's done it in the sense that that's an open avenue for you to experience Star Wars for the first time with these characters.
And also I think it's amazing because even if you haven't seen the film, I wasn't a huge fan of them before, but so much. Like people, even if you've not seen the films, you will be aware of who Luke Skywalker is and who Han Solo is. So to have some kind of awareness, I think people will already be more in the world than they might think watching it.
This is a brand new story about characters that you've not seen before, and so the fun of this is that it's sort of it's a place that has a history, and if you want to, you can watch the earlier films to kind of, but this was not meant to be something that required you to know Star Wars, just the way Star Wars didn't. when the very first Star Wars came out, it was Episode 4. It dropped you right into the middle of this thing, and it didn't ask you to know anything about the history of it. You could get all you needed to just from that film. And so this movie, now essentially 40 years later, does very much the same thing. It's a brand new story with brand new characters, and the ones that exist that you may recognize if you're a fan are characters that you can meet right now. You don't have to know anything about them beforehand. So, and the other thing I was going to say was that you referenced it as a science fiction story. I think that the thing about Star Wars is that while there are elements of sci-fi to it, it really is a fantasy at heart, and it's an idea that at the core has a very spiritual idea in the Force, which is this sort of energy that connects all living things, and that's a sort of, it almost feels like in a way, an anti-sci-fi idea, because at the core of it is something that's much more spiritual than scientific.
I think that's true, and it's interesting because even when you look back at what inspired George Lucas when he created Star Wars, accumulation of influences on George. And so I think that that's something that we very much talked a lot about in how we carry this through and bring it into the modern world today. But those influences through cinema are still very, very strong.
Someone asked me recently if I could be anyone in the Star Wars universe, who would I be? And I think I'd be the guy who invents railings. Because in the Star Wars world, there's no railings. There are these catwalks that go out with these endless chasms below, and there's no railings anywhere. I thought you could probably make a fortune if you just invented railings. That's my guess.
I have nothing anywhere near that esoteric.
I don't know. Just say something.
Well, I mean, it's interesting because one of the reasons that we were inspired to put a female character, a strong female character in Force Awakens, is that there haven't been a huge number of female characters to relate to. So I would say that certainly what Princess Leia represented at the time was quite an amazing character to come along in the 70s. And I think that's what's so exciting about Rey today. And I'd have to choose her because I think that she represents a very modern day female character, a heroine, which we don't see much of in movies or stories for that matter. So I think that that's really exciting.
The visual effects are incredible in the movie, and look, there's so much spectacle, and I every sequence that we did was obviously a labor of love of thousands of people who put in an incredible amount of effort. So I have to say, each one for me feels like something I'm just so grateful to everyone who contributed to them. Some of my favorite things in the movie aren't the big spectacular sequences, but more the comedic timing. When John Boyega and Harrison Ford, when their characters are sneaking around the enemy base, some of my favorite moments are just things between them. When Daisy Ridley and John Boyega and their characters just first start to get to know each other, some of my favorite things are those. The BB-8, the new droid. Some of the amazing performances from that character, performed by two puppeteers on set. They got laughs giving us a performance that was practical, that we were filming. So there are things that, for me, as the director, I appreciate that I think probably most audiences wouldn't necessarily think as, oh, that must be the crowning achievement of this movie, but I know all the hard work that went into all these things, and so I'm just grateful for the, every little nuanced thing that the performers and the crew put into this.